Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm back with some coastal nautical DIY, and we are going to be creating one of them this time. And for this one you will need some greenery, assorted ones, whatever you have on hand, a 14-inch diameter wreath form from Dollar Tree, as well as some burlap. Now I got this burlap from burlapfabric.com, and then you are going to well, I am using some of these beautiful sola wood flowers, and I will have a link down below for you to check them out. I have them in assorted neutral styles and colors, and these can be painted. I will be keeping them as they are, except maybe one of them I will paint in a color. They're super easy to work with, and I absolutely love the way they look. So as you might have guessed it, I am making a wreath, and I am starting off by wrapping it with this burlap ribbon. I love using this burlap, and especially for this, it gives it a good solid base, but it also looks good. So if this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and you're watching my DIY channel, where I create assorted styles of assorted DIYs, as well as furniture upcycles and trash to treasure thrift store flips. So if this is something that interests you, I would love it if you considered subscribing, pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. I am using hot glue to secure the burlap in place, but I don't hot glue the whole like every wrap around. I do at the beginning just so it stays in place, and then I do couple rolls over, and then I add more. So once it's all wrapped up, it's when the fun starts. Now I start using my greenery and my flowers. So I just kind of wanted to know where my starting point and my finishing point was. So I am gluing a piece of greenery to each end. I am very excited because this is my first video that I'm creating in my new craft room. I had moved my craft room into a different area, and I'm hoping that this works really well. I have everything in one place, so I don't have to go to a separate area looking for things. And I will be sharing my craft room organization, declutter, and setup over on my home channel within next week or so. Just trying to finish up all the little odds and ends that I have left. Now I'm going to start with adding my flowers. So I'm just going through all these flowers and picking out which ones I want to use. These are so versatile because, as you can see, they're very neutral. And I find that some of them almost look a little coastal, but at the same time, if you added a little bit of color to them, you can use them for really any season or any style of decor. Once I have all my flowers picked out, I just choose how to assemble them, first without gluing, and then I add the glue to them once I know where I want each flower to go. I think this is a good way to do things because you can move them around without being glued, and really picking the best spot for all of them before you actually make it more permanent. So I have decided that that little white flower is what I'm going to paint, and I am using Copenhagen blue in my acrylic paint. The acrylic paint came from Dollarama, and I'm just using a small brush to apply the paint. You can also dip these into like water and paint mixture, but I wanted to almost dry brush the paint on so some of the white shows through as well. So that's why I was using just a flat paintbrush. I think this blue is perfect to give that nautical look. And I think some of these white big flowers almost remind me of corals. And I think this is going to turn out really, really good. So once I have that painted, I just set it aside for a few minutes. It does not take long for them to dry because, like I said, I was just dry brushing it. So while that's drying, I'm going to assemble my almost like a focal point, which I'm using these two large flowers. And then in the middle, I'm going to glue my blue. So that will be my kind of center, like I said, my focal point. And then I'm going to build on just by adding different flowers and greenery as I go. Play around first and before I glue. So I think I'm happy with the placements, and now I'm going to start gluing them. And at this point is when I started to realize that I might not be using any of the greenery because I was just loving how the flowers looked on their own without any greenery. So as you can see, I have removed the greenery off and I just love it as it is. Just the flowers on their own. And I think that blue right there in the middle looks really, really good. And now it's time to work on the other side where I want to incorporate some more of that blue as well as some of that wood color that the flowers have. So I've have this nautical ship wheel. It was actually a picture frame that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I've had it for a while, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to incorporate. I wanted to also use this welcome sign that is a bottom of a windmill that comes from Dollar Tree, and I just think adding a little bit of that galvanized look to it, it will just make it look even more rustic. So trying to figure out how to do this, I had actually decided to almost not go with this straight line of these garden what are they called, garden signs, but I was gonna build a wall with them, which I will share shortly. But before I went on doing that, I give this ship wheel a light color of this same blue, and that's gonna be my other color on the opposite side. So while the ship wheel is drying, I'm going to assemble my wall, or should I say more like a fence, and I'm using more of these garden wood pieces. They're like for garden labeling. And I have tons of them because I picked them all up a while back. I think I got like 10 bags of them. So I've been working through them quite a bit. So I'm just staggering them from the smallest to the largest. And then I'm going to add one more here that will be the longest, and then I'm also going to use two of them for underneath the welcome because I wasn't quite happy how it looked on its own, so I wanted to add a little bit more wood to it. So I will be assembling two more by cutting them just to be a touch longer than the welcome sign, and also gluing them together. Once they're glued together, I'm using my favorite stain that came from your dollar store and more, and I am going to stain them. This will give me that look, that wood look that I'm going for to match the flowers. I have also decided to add some of that stain over top of the blue stain that's on the ship wheel. I think this just made that ship wheel look a little bit more rustic, more aged. And now it's time to assemble this together on top of the wreath. I am obviously using hot glue to assemble. You want to make sure that it's in the middle so it's not off on an angle. You could also glue this on the bottom instead of on top, but I kind of like the way it looked on top instead. Did struggle a little bit with this galvanized piece to stay in place, so I am just using some of my clips to hold it in place. Now at this point I thought this piece needed a little bit more just at the bottom, so I am just using some of my jute rope as kind of a nautical rope, and I'm just tying a knot on each end and gluing it on the bottom. I think this just added a little bit of a decorative piece to the bottom as well, and even more that coastal nautical look. So once it was done, when I thought it was done anyways, I removed the clips. I ended up having to add the clip on one more time just beside the W. Now I'm adding some nautical rope here on top as well. Just this will be for my hanging, and to finish it off I am going to glue the ship's wheel. I almost forgot to glue the ship's wheel. So what do you think? I would love to know down in the comments. I absolutely love the way it turned out. I think it's gonna look perfect with all the other pieces that I have created in this coastal nautical decor theme. And give me a thumbs up if you had enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out the Sola wood flowers, which the link will be in the description box, and don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.